Ever ask someone a simple question, like, "What do you want for dinner?" and they pause like you just asked them to explain quantum physics? Yeah, that's probably a deep thinker. But here's the thing, there's more than one kind of deep thinker. In fact, there are three main types, and each one experiences the world in a completely different way. Because being a deep thinker isn't just about being smart or philosophical. It's about how your mind is wired, how you observe, analyze, question, and sometimes over-question everything. Let's break them down. In hell, Type 1, the quiet observer. You know the person who barely says anything in a group, but somehow knows everything that's going on? They're not zoning out, they're zooming in. While everyone else is busy talking, they're busy watching. Not in a creepy way, more like their brain is constantly reading between the lines. They notice the way someone's voice changed when a certain topic came up. They catch that subtle glance between two people. They feel the tension before anyone says a word. These people usually score high in empathy and pattern recognition. Psychologists say their brains are like emotional radar systems, constantly scanning for micro-expressions, tone shifts, and nonverbal cues. They're not quiet because they're shy. They're quiet because they're processing everything. You'll often find them sitting back, listening, collecting data, and then dropping one sentence that cuts deeper than everything said before. Card Type 2, the overthinker's overthinker. This one hits hard. You know that friend who sends a text and then spirals when you don't reply within 10 minutes? Or worse, you replied, "Okay," and now they're convinced you hate them. Welcome to the world of rumination. It's not just overthinking, it's replaying, reimagining, and reinterpreting every possible angle of a situation. Their brain is like a detective that won't close the case. It keeps asking, what did they mean by that? Did I sound weird? Should I have said something different? Are they mad? Am I overthinking this, or am I right? And yes, they overthink, whether they're overthinking. Psychologically, this comes from a need for certainty and a desire to resolve emotional tension. But life isn't always neat. Some things don't have answers, and that drives them crazy. They often struggle with sleep, focus, and making decisions, because their mind is always running simulations of what-if scenarios. But here's the upside. When managed well, this kind of brain can spot patterns others miss, solve problems from every angle, and plan 10 steps ahead. So yeah, exhausting, but brilliant. Type 3, the existential explorer. This one's my favorite. You ask them how their weekend was, and suddenly, you're deep in a conversation about whether the universe is conscious. Their brain doesn't do small talk. It does big talk. They're constantly reflecting, questioning, wandering through ideas about meaning, purpose, time, existence. They'll randomly ask, "Do you think time is real? What if reality is a simulation? What's the point of anything?" Not in a depressing way, most of the time, but because their mind lives in the abstract. Psychologists link this to something called the default mode network, a part of the brain that activates during deep thinking, imagination, creativity, and self-reflection. This kind of mind thrives when disconnected from external distractions, like during walks, showers, staring out the window, or standing in line at Starbucks wondering if free will is an illusion. They're the ones who question everything, not because they're lost, but because they're searching, mapping up pencils under the air. B thinkers of all types often feel misunderstood. They're told they think too much, or they shouldn't overanalyze. But deep thinking is a strength when it's understood. T can make you more empathetic, more creative, and more connected to the world in ways others don't see. But it can also lead to anxiety, isolation, or decision fatigue if it's not balanced. The key isn't to stop thinking deeply, it's to channel it, write, create, reflect, share. Use your mind like a tool, not a trap. Yeah! So, which one are you? Are you the silent observer who sees everything but says little? The overthinker who replays every text message 5 times? Or the existential explorer who wonders about the meaning of life during lunch? Or maybe you're a little bit of all three. Let me know in the comments. And if this video made you feel seen, it's because you probably are. And hey, subscribe if you want more psychology content that helps you understand your mind while also messing with it in the best possible way.